Hi everyone, welcome to the weekly reading for the week of May 8th through to the 14th. So, as usual, talk about the astrology first. And this week there's a full moon in Scorpio, so it's at 20 degrees of Scorpio. So when the full moon is in Scorpio, there is a lot of intensity of emotion, and so there can be a real build-up of emotion or feelings of like black and white emotions, like feeling extreme things. So maybe feeling either, like you feel really deeply passionate about something, or you want to move on away from or move on from a situation. And for some people it could be relationships, or it could be work, or it could be anything in your life, depending on where you have Scorpio in your personal astrological chart. That if you know your chart, have a look at where the full moon is transiting, and it will be on the 10th and 11th roughly, so in a couple of days time. Now, Pluto will be making a sextile aspect to the full moon, so that's actually bringing some empowerment. But as with Scorpio influences, we don't sort of get the empowerment that we want easily. We have to go through sort of an ego death of sorts. That is what part of the symbolism of Scorpio and Pluto are, is sort of going through a death of the ego self, a part of the self that, told us that we want certain things, or, whatever it may be. And but when that aspect of self, we release that part of ourselves, or we're forced to let go of that part of ourselves, it can actually bring to light a deeper level of understanding about our spiritual experience in life. And it can also bring about a rebirth and a transformation. And transformation, as I always say, it never happens easily. It takes sometimes a lot and some difficulties to experience transformation. And with the moon, it's the deepest part of our emotions, and our security needs. And with this energy, it can be, because we've got other things going on in the sky with the astrology this week, it can be a little bit difficult. You can feel at odds with yourself with this full moon energy, especially because with the full moon it's opposite the sun being in Taurus. So if you're a fixed sign around 20 degrees, you'll feel affected by this full moon this week. It's a pretty strong one. But as I said, the positive side of it is there is a potential for transformation and a real shift of energy and a shift of your emotions this week. Just another thing I want to mention, the north nodes are shifting, and I've mentioned this before. They've been in Virgo, now in Leo. So currently the north node is on 29 degrees of Leo. So if you're a late born Leo, or you have 29 degrees of Leo sun, moon or rising, this time period now is really pushing you forward. The universe is giving you a positive push forward. So that's good for anyone that has late Leo, or even late Sagittarius or Aries as well. When I say late, I mean around 29 degrees or 28 degrees. So the Mercury-Uranus conjunction is this week. I mentioned it last week. Actually, I mentioned it on my Facebook page and on Instagram, what the energy is with this Mercury-Uranus conjunction. The tension is really getting ramped up. So Mercury's in Aries, and it is direct now, but Aries rules the head, so you may feel a lot of mental tension, a lot of thoughts going over, a lot of mental stress. So there's really a need to take time out and really consciously slow things down if you feel like your life is just too fast-paced. I mean, it's interesting because, I was thinking recently, like, never before have I felt like my life in general has felt like it's going so fast. And I was talking to my partner about this, and he was, feeling the exact same thing. And it can be a product of the way society is these days. We're constantly plugged into social media. If you've got kids, or if you have just a very busy routine, you work and you do other things, it can be just full on, like you just go. And if you work in a high pressure job, or as I said, or you've got just a lot going on in your life, I personally have never had so much going on in my life that I've just felt completely, sort of running to keep up with things. And it can be a good thing because, you feel like you're very engaged in life, but sometimes it can be, bordering on feeling burnt out. And with this energy this week, with Mercury conjunct Uranus in Aries, and it actually is exact on Thursday and Friday, so it peaks then, and then next week it will thankfully be past that. So, but it's just a need to watch the stress levels and the mind, and the mental chatter, and also just mental stress needs to be watched, and also just do things to slow down if you feel like things are going too fast. And I'm taking my own advice this week. Mars is making a difficult aspect to Neptune this week. Sorry, just to go back, I made a mistake. I said Thursday, Friday for the Uranus Mercury conjunction. It's actually Wednesday, Thursday. But this one is Thursday, Friday this week, the Mars square Neptune. So Mars is in Gemini, 13 degrees. If you have anything in your chart, 13 degrees, so Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius, the Mars square Neptune could have a not so positive effect on you this week, because Mars in Gemini, it sort of charges up the mind, and we're already having a charged up mental state because of Mercury conjunct Uranus, so this is further doing that, and it could be causing some confusion because it's making that difficult aspect to Neptune at 13 degrees of Pisces. So if you are one of the mutable signs, as I said, I mentioned those signs, Gemini, Pisces, Virgo or Sagittarius, anything around 13 degrees, 12, 13, 14 degrees, you could be feeling this confusion about your direction, because Mars is about pushing forward with what you want, and Neptune's about your dreams and the higher vision that you have for your life, your creativity, your spirituality, and feeling like you're on path in fulfilling your destiny in a higher sense. And with that Mars square Neptune, there's going to be confusion this week, so not the best time to make sudden decisions, even though some people may feel tempted to with the Mercury conjunct Uranus. But things are not clear this week. The energy is not that clear. The full moon's making our emotions very intense. So there's a lot to watch in ourselves this week. Emotions can get carried away with themselves, and just something to be aware of when dealing with the energies. And that's pretty much it for the astrology. I'm going to look at 3 cards for this week from the Llewellyn Tarot. And if you'd like a personal reading with me, just follow the links below. Whoops, one's flipping over. Here we go, I'm going to put that there. Follow the links below to my online store, and you can book a private reading with me. I do astrological consultations, psychic tarot readings, and a lot of different type of readings actually. Oh, I love these cards, they're so beautiful. Okay, so let's have a look what we've got. Page of Pentacles. I think we've had this recently. The Knight of Wands and the Chariot. Well, the Chariot, wow, that's interesting, because the Chariot is always about polarized sort of energies, trying to bring some balance, with these energies. And so that could definitely relate to, the astrology this week with Mars square Neptune, Mercury conjunct Uranus, and a full moon in Scorpio. People could be having issues with their emotions and sort of trying to maintain that inner sense of calm and that sense of inner stability with all these tumultuous emotions going on. You can see in this card the water is really it's all over the place, and that can be how a moon in Scorpio, if you have moon in Scorpio, you can feel that way. You can feel very at the mercy of your emotions, emotional ups and downs and so forth. Anyway, so the Page of Pentacles shows, we've had this recently, it shows like a new start, embarking on something to do with financial, could be work, a new work situation. As I tune into this, what I'm getting is, if you've wanted to make a change in your life to do with your financial situation, to do with abundance, to do with what you're manifesting, it is a good time to start sort of popping your head up out of your comfort zone, I want to say, and looking at where there are other options for you, because this is about you embarking on some kind of change. And you may feel conflicted about that this week with the Knight of Wands here facing this card. In a way, it's saying that you need to take action to better your situation. But I just feel there's conflict between these two. So again, that could relate to how the full moon in Scorpio is in conflict with the Sun, because they're opposite the Sun in Taurus at the moment. So maybe there's things you need to reconcile in your emotional self this week, and come to some kind of feeling of balance and an inner sense of harmony, so that you can move forward. That's what I'm getting, because that makes a lot of sense actually with the cards here. So this week it's like trying to perhaps make a decision about forward movement, but the energy just feels a little bit, it's tentative this week. It's like there's more of an energy shift going on this week on a deeper level, where you need to manage your emotions. Start thinking about where you want to move forward with things in your life, rather than waiting for it to sort of fall into your lap for this particular time. Doesn't mean that things, you know, down the track will naturally fall into place, and they will, but, you know, we have to be the ones that are listening to our intuition and taking action. So there's definitely it's very practical energy here with the Pentacles, you know, relating to the material realm, and the Knight of Wands is also very practical. It's about passion and direction, and, you know, it's interesting though because he's facing, you know, sort of away from what I would say the forward movement is going this way as we move forward with the reading. So it's almost like, you know, some people may feel a bit blocked this week, and that totally relates to Mars square Neptune. Interesting, you know, with the Mars square Neptune, because this man here coming out of the water like that. I find that so interesting. And, yeah, there's a need to balance your emotions this week and, you know, take time out for yourself if you have to, if you're feeling overwhelmed, because it can be emotionally a bit overwhelming this week. Alright, so that was, I was just going to do the 3 cards for this week, and if you, as I said, if you'd like a private reading with me, follow the links below, and I wish everyone a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.